Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 10 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 10 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter system of linear equations. The lessons we're going to cover today are solve a system of equations using substitution, solve a system of equations using substitution word problem, solve a system of equations using elimination, and then solve a system of equations using elimination word problems. Okay, so here I'm on grade 10 math. Let's just start with the lesson, that is solve a system of equation using substitution. So let's just start with the lesson. Okay, so let's start with an example. Solve using substitution. You are given the equations that are y equal -4 and -4x plus 5y equals 20. So you are given two of the equations. The first thing you need to do is isolate the variable from one of the equation and then substitute it to the second equation. So you can see here the variable y is already isolated. You have y at one side and rest of the things on the other side. So you can substitute y equals -4 in the second equation, right? So just do 4x plus 5. Replace the y with the value that is -4 equals 20, right? -4x -20 equals 20. So you have -4x equals 20 plus 20, that is 40. -4x equals 40 and x equals -10. So you already have y that is -4x is 10, y is -10 and -4. So the correct option is the solution of the system of equation is -10 and -4. Okay, so let's just start with the test questions. Okay, solve using substitution. 5x plus 4y equals -3 and the other equation is y equals -2. So you need to isolate the variable, right? One of the variable is already isolated. You have y equals -2, right? Simply substitute the value in the first equation. 5x plus 4y is -2 equals -3, right? So you have 5x minus 8 equals minus 3. So move 8 other side, that would be 5x equals negative 3 plus 8. So 8 minus 3 is 5. So divide both sides by 5, you are left with x equals 1. You already have the value of y, right? So the solution is 1 and negative 2. Option number 1 is the correct option, right? Okay, so option number 1 is the correct option. Solve using substitution. You are given y equals 3, negative 3x plus 4y equals negative 3. So one of the variable y is already isolated. Just substitute the value in the second equation. So replace y equals 3. That would be negative 3x plus 12 equals negative 3. Now move that 12 other side, right? So negative 3x equals negative 3 plus minus 12. That is negative 3x equals negative 9, right? Divide both sides by negative 15 it is. Divide both sides by 3, so the correct option is x equals. So the correct option is divide both sides by negative 3x equals 5, right? So the correct option is 5 and 3. Option number 2 is the correct option. The correct option is option number 2. So solve using substitution. So which is the correct option? Solve using substitution. 7x minus 7y equals 7 and x equals negative 8. So which is the correct option? So which is the correct option? Let's just replace x equals negative 8, right? That would be 7 times negative 8. Move 56 other side, so negative 7y, 7 plus 56, right? Negative 7y equals 63. So y equals negative 9. So option number 2 is the correct option. Negative 8 and negative 9 are the solution of the equations. Got it? The correct option is option number 2 is the correct option, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. And the next lesson is the word problems, right? That is for the substitution and word problems. So let's just start with the word problems. That is solve a system of equations using substitution word problems. So let's just start with the lesson. Okay, so write a system of equations. Let's just start with the test question, right? Here you are given with the option with the equations. So let's just start with the test questions. Write a system of equations to describe the situation below. You solve using substitution and fill in the blanks. Okay. Umar and Dalton got in trouble at football practice and have to run laps as a consequence. Umar had Umar had Umar, who runs at a rate of 4 laps per minute, had completed 12 laps already when he was joined the track by Dalton. Dalton's pace is 6 laps per minute. At some point, the two will have run the same distance. How long will that take? How many laps will each boy have run? So basically, you have to understand first, you need to write down the equations and then you have to solve them, right? So let's just start. We'll write the equations first and then we'll solve, right? Okay, so Umar and Dalton, let me just write down the equation. Got it? Umar and Dalton got in trouble at football practice and have to run laps as a consequences. Hmm, when he was joined the track, 6 laps per minute. Okay, so we need to write down the equations first, right? So the first equation is you have 4 laps, right? So for example, laps represent S, then that will be Y equals 4x and 12 he already completed. And then the second equation is Y equals 6x, right? Now let's just isolate the variables and solve the equations. Y equals 6x it is. So replace this y by 6x equals 4x plus 12, right? Move 4x other side to 6x minus 4x equals 12. That is 2x equals 12 and x equals 6, right? Now put the value of x over here. That is y equals 6 times 6. That is 36. So the correct option is option number 1. That is 6 and 36. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 6 and 36. Okay, the next one is Owen, an artist, plans to paint and sell some miniature paintings. He just bought some brushes for $9 and paint and canvas each for $75. He will sell each painting for $78. Once Owen sells a certain number of paintings of his paintings, he will breaking even. How much will Owen have earned? How much paintings will that be? Okay, so let's just write down the equations first and then we'll solve. So they are 9. He just bought some of brushes for $9 and so paint and canvas each for $75. So the equations are y equals 75 x plus 9 and the other is y equals 78x, right? So let's just solve this equation. So you have to replace y by 78x. So that is 78x equals 75x plus 9. So move 75x other side, that is 78 minus 75 is 3x equals 9, so x equals 3, right? Now replace this x with a value, so that is 78 times 3. 3 times 8 is 24, 3 times 7 is 21, 22, 23. So the numbers are 2 and 234. The correct option is option number 1 is the correct option, that is 3 and 234 is the correct option. Got it? Option number 1 is the correct option. Use a system of equation to describe the situation below. Solve using substitution and fill in the blanks. Quincy and his mom are planting vegetables in their garden. Quincy has finished planting 2 rows of carrots so far and is planting new row at a rate of 5 rows per hour. His mom has finished 8 rows of tomatoes and will continue painting 2 rows per hour. Once the pair get to the paint where they have painted the same number of rows, they will have to break and decide what to do next. How many rows will have they each have completed? How long will that take? So first you need to write down the equations, then you have to solve, right? I will write down the equations for you. You have to solve on your own, right? So the equations are Quincy has planting 2 rows of carrot so far and is planting 5 rows per hour, right? So that is y equals 5x plus 2, and then his mom has finished 8 rows of tomatoes and will continue planting 2. Okay, then y equals 8x plus 2x plus 8, right? Yes, 2x plus 8. So you have to now solve the equations, right? So basically they both are equal to y. So then equate the equations. 5x plus 2 equals 2x plus 8. Move 2x other side. So 5x minus 2x equals 8 minus 6. That is 3x equals 6. So x equals 2. Right? Now put the value of x in any of the equation and calculate the y. So y equals 5 times 2 plus 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. So the correct option is 12 and 2. Option number 2 is the correct option. Got it? So the correct option is 12 and 2. Option number 2 is the correct option. If you have any questions with the lesson we have with the examples I just did, you can please ask. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So any questions? Okay, so let's just move on to next one. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, the next one is Tessa is looking for a job cutting hair. One option is self employment at the Livingston Salon, where she would pay $410 per month to rent a station and keep all of her earnings. Another option is to work at a franchise where she would just have to pay the salon $2 for every haircut. If she performed a certain number of haircuts every month, the amount paid to either salon would be the same. How many haircuts would that be? How much would Tessa pay? So, which is the correct option? So, which is the correct option? Option number two is the correct option, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just move on to next lesson, that is elimination method, right? So let's just learn the elimination method. Okay, the next lesson is solve a system of equations using elimination. So let's just start with the lesson. Let's just learn how do we solve the questions using elimination. The first one example is 9x plus 8y equals negative 1 and 9x plus 6y equals negative 3, right? Okay, so let's just start with the test questions, right? Okay, negative x plus 10y equals negative 19 and x plus 3y equals negative 7. You have to eliminate one of the variable by adding or subtracting the equations, right? By adding or subtracting the equation. If you look at the equation, here you have x is negative 1 and x is 1 coefficient, right? That means you can, if you add the both the equations, you can eliminate x. So let's just add the equations, right? X minus x, then they cancel out each other. 10y plus 3y makes 13y and negative 9 negative 7 makes negative 26, right? Divide both sides by 13, so y equals negative 2. Now you can put y equals negative 2 in any of the equation and calculate the value of x. Let's just put in second equation. X plus 3y is negative 2 equals negative 7. So x equals negative 7 and plus 6. So that would be negative 1. So x equals negative 1. So the correct option is negative 1 and negative 2. So option number 2 is the correct option, right? That is negative 1 and negative 2. The correct option is okay. Okay, so let's just move on to next one. Okay, the next one is 2x minus y equals negative 15 and negative x negative y equals negative 3. So if you subtract both the equations, y would be eliminated. So let's just subtract both the equations, right? That is 2x minus y equals negative 15 minus x minus y equals negative 3, right? So you are going to subtract both the equations. 2 plus 1 is 3x. Negative y plus y cancel out. You are left with negative 12 plus 3 is negative 12. So x equals negative 4. Now put x equals negative 4 in any of the equation and calculate the value of y. So that is negative times negative 4 minus y equals negative 3. So 4 negative y equals negative 3 and negative 4, right? So negative y equals negative 7, y equals 7. So option number 1 is the correct option. That is negative 4 and 7. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, so negative 7x plus 8y equals 8 and 6x minus 8y equals negative 16. So simply add both the equations, you will be a variable y would be eliminated, right? Negative 7x plus 8y equals 8. Then 6x minus 8y equals negative 16, right? 8 minus 8 is 0. You are left with negative 7 plus 6 is negative x equals negative 8. So x equals 8, right? Now substitute x equals 8 in any of the equation and you can find the value of y. So 8 times 7 is 56, negative 56 plus 8y equals 8. Then 8y equals 8 plus 56, right? So 8y equals 64 and y equals 8. So the correct option is y equals 8. So negative 8 and 8 is the correct option. Got it? No, 8 and 8, option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, solve using elimination. So which is the correct option? The correct option is option number 1 is the correct option. They are 10 and negative 8 is the correct option. So which is the correct option? The correct option is option number 1, that is 3, and 10 is the correct option, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 10 math. The chapter we were working on is system of linear equations. The lessons we have covered today are solve a system of equations using substitution, solve a system of equations using substitution word problems, solve a system of equations using elimination, and the word problems for the elimination you have to do on your own, right? So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session, right? So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor. They are available through live chat button. They are available from Monday to Friday 5 to 9, or either you can join me in the interactive session that would be daily from 4 to 5. So that's all for today. If you have any questions related to the lessons we have just finished, you can please ask. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any.